first law. So first law is what? First law is if F is 0, then A is 0. So this is actually the law of inertia. If F is 0, then A is 0. So what does it mean? If A is 0 means, if A is 0, if F is 0, the net external force is 0, then A is 0. So A is 0 means what? The velocity is constant. Velocity V is constant. And if V is constant means its magnitude as well as direction is constant. So V is constant means, it means magnitude is constant, and direction is fixed. Direction is fixed. No change in the direction. So this is the law of inertia. If there is no external force, the acceleration is 0 and velocity remains constant. So we will see different examples. So acceleration is 0, velocity constant. The velocity can be 0 also. Okay, on correction here, an object keeps on moving with constant velocity in a straight line or remains at rest. One more thing we will add, or remains at rest, because if it is at rest, then it will not move with constant velocity. So whatever velocity it is having, it will remain. So or remain at rest we should write. Okay, so if acceleration is constant means acceleration is 0 means velocity is constant. So velocity constant can be anything. So V can be 0 or V can be non-zero. If V is 0 means it is the inertia of rest. This corresponds to inertia of rest. And if velocity is non-zero means, suppose a car is moving on the road and the engine is switched off, the car will keep on moving with that velocity on the road. So that is inertia of motion. So in that case, the velocity is non-zero, but it remains constant. So this is inertia of motion. And since its direction does not change, so that is inertia of direction also. All the three things are coming. Direction does not change. Direction is fixed. Means inertia of direction. Inertia of direction. So we will see different examples. So what are the examples? So examples we can take. Suppose if we shake the branches of the tree vigorously, then many of the leaves will get detached from the tree. If branch of a tree is moved vigorously, the leaves detach. Why the leaves detach? Because what happens that if you are moving the branch is coming in motion, but the leaves will tend to remain at its same place. You need to apply some force to move the leaves also. So the force which the leaves will get will be coming from where? From the point where they are attached with the branches. The point leaves are attached with the branches, that point is the point of application of force on the leaves. So if you move the branches vigorously, the leaves may get detached from the branches because the leaves are having the inertia of rest. Because leaves are having inertia of rest. Similarly, you can have another example. If you are in a bus, the bus starts suddenly. If a bus starts suddenly, you experience a force in backward direction. So you are at rest, so you are having inertia of rest, but the bus started moving. So you tend to feel a force in backward direction. You tend to remain in the previous position. You tend to remain at rest. So that's why you feel a force, corresponding force in the backward direction. If a bus starts suddenly, people in bus experience a force in backward direction. People in bus tend to remain at rest and experience a force in backward direction. Similarly, you have many other examples. Suppose you take a coin, you put a coin, just put a small piece of paper and put a coin on the paper. And if you remove this paper suddenly, the coin does not move, because coin is generally a heavy thing. Coin is having high density. It is made up of metal. So coin is a heavy object, and because of its high inertia, the coin is not able to move along with the paper. So that is also inertia. So if paper, this is coin and this is paper. If paper is removed suddenly, if paper removed suddenly, the coin remains at its own place. The coin remains at its own place. So that is also example of inertia at rest, inertia of rest. Similarly, if you beat a coat with a stick, okay, beating or hitting a coat, you will write. Hitting a coat with a stick separates dust. Why dust is separated? Because when you beat with the stick, that coat will move along with the stick, but the dust will tend to remain at its own place. And the dust finally, because of gravity, they tend to settle down. So finally the dust is separated from the coat. So hitting a coat with a stick separates dust from the coat. So these are examples of inertia of rest. These are examples of inertia of rest. So this is what, if you do not apply any force, the object tend to remain at its own position. They tend to remain at rest only if they were initially at rest. So similarly, we will see the second example. If the object is moving, we need to apply some force to stop. If you do not